breaking news. One suspect dead after FBI stormed Texas synagogue. Apparently, all 4 people were held hostage at a synagogue in Colleyville, Texas, and they're alive and safe, and they have reported gunfire and sounds. I mean, the FBI, let me tell you something. This is the one thing about the FBI over the last couple of decades, anybody who's been paying attention, in these different activist movements, you'll notice that the FBI does a lot of fake, we got them. We got them. They were about to do it, and we got them. And then it's just their story versus everybody else's. And obviously, we're going to roll with their stories, the FBI. So, back in the day, they used to set people up with fertilizer. So they'd, go to these forums where they would, try to recruit somebody who was, on the spectrum of autism. And they would, talk to them a little bit and convince them that individual should probably engage in some type of terrorism because the government was really messed up and, something needed to be done. And they'd be like, oh, did you know you can make bombs like this? Oh, guess what? All you need is fertilizer. And guess what? We actually can ship it to you. And they'd be like, okay. And then they'd get shipped some fertilizer. And the FBI would be like, oh, he got fertilizer. And they'd arrest the dude. And then it was like, oh, let's put him away. And so this was at that time, they had to, go after the Muslim terrorist archetype. So it was a lot of homegrown radical Muslim terrorists. And, it was such a sinister plot because individuals like you and me would get the ire of our, general population.
There was a bombing. Which bombing was the one where they had the guy? They didn't actually intercept the product. They were supposed to replace the bomb with a fake bomb, but they didn't, and the bomb did go off. And then they were gonna throw this guy under the bus, but then he came out with the receipts. He had been recording them and saying, "Hey, I was informant, man. You guys supposed to replace the bombs. You guys didn't do that." And then then they vindicated and said, "Oh no, there was a mistake. There was a mistake." That was a false flag operation that they actually carried out, and then they had to admit that they'd made some kind of mistake. They were supposed to, replace the bomb with a fake bomb, but that didn't happen, so the bomb actually went off, and then they were trying to blame him. And they would have totally blamed him, and they would have never admitted that this was a false flag or that the FBI was actually involved in this case. They would have just said, no, he did it, fuck him, just like Timothy McVeigh, like all these different people that who knows what the fucking story is. But he had recorded them without them knowing. And he goes, what are you talking about? Like, I'm part of this.
Yep.
And so they had to vindicate him, and otherwise he would have been rotting in prison right now. Yep. Or executed, who the fuck knows?
Yep. And last year, you remember, was it last year or maybe the year prior, where, no, it wasn't last year, it was the year prior, where Governor Whitmer was talking about 86ing Trump. She had put stuff up where she was being interviewed and basically saying, let's get Trump. And at the same time, the FBI uncovers a plot of kidnappers going to kidnap Governor Whitmer. And then when you look at the group, they all look like literally retarded autists. And you're like, wait, what? These guys conspired to kidnap Governor Whitmer, and you guys saved the day.
I think 12 out of
right
15,
in the nick of time.
12 out of 15 conspirators were actually FBI and FBI informants. They were all the ones behind the whole thing, man. That's what they do. They create this bullshit narrative, and then they foil the plot. They create the plot, and they foil the plot, and then they come out and they take credit for it, so they can say, oh, the FBI stopped this many attacks this year. Motherfucker, you guys created the attacks. And then you supposedly stopped it.